How's it going, everyone? Paul with Adaptable Survival. What I want to do in today's episode is take a look at this Mil-Tec Igloo tent. Stick with me as we take a look at it. So the tent we're looking at today is the Mil-Tec Igloo tent made by Strum. Now, I picked this up, would have been at least 4.5 years ago. So I actually used this for the very first class I ever took at the Pathfinder School, Bushcraft 101 class in June of 2018. So it actually probably a little bit closer to 5 years since I've owned this. I actually won this off of eBay for I think like 35 bucks. Price point on these online, I've seen them fluctuate anywhere from like 45 all the way up to about 85. Just depends on who you're buying it from. Like I said, I did find mine on eBay, and that's where I've seen quite a few of them, especially in this Fleck Tarn camo. Just a few specs on this because there's not a whole lot of information to go off on this. Weight wise, 4.8 pounds. So not the lightest tent, but for the cost, not extremely heavy by any means. Setup on this is extremely simple, which we'll do here in a second. The Rainfly is 100% polyester. I can't remember the exact waterproof rating. If I can find that online, I'll throw it across the screen. And then the ground sheet is actually a polyethylene ground sheet that's built into the tent itself. So enough boring you to death with specs. Let's take this out of the carrying bag. Simple grab handle on there, and we will start putting it. This bag, really simple. You just have a cinch top, which we'll talk about the pros and cons of that when we get to it. Pull the tent out of the bag here. Now, admittedly, I don't use this tent quite as much anymore, so that's why you haven't seen it used in an overnight or anything like that. I just have a lot of other shelters I usually use, or I like to hammock camp quite a bit. Let me get a little bit closer up to the camera here, but this is what the ground sheet's going to look like. It's almost like the tarps you can buy from Menards, Walmart, all that, but this is a little bit thicker, so a little bit heavier in mils. Put the bag off to the side here. Now I just have this stored. I have everything just rolled up. So you will get some tent stakes. Just come in a simple bag. And these are just your typical steel shepherd's hooks. And then you do have a couple guy lines with tensioners that come in the bag. Toss all those to the side for now. You do have a little Rainfly, and I will show you where that goes on the tent when we get there. But the tent, like I said, extremely easy to set up. Basically just gotta unfold. How I have this rolled up, I just unfold it and position it. Just like that. Now I just have my simple layout of how the tent is going to be. Now with the poles, get one out of the bag here. What I like about this design is it's extremely simple. All you have is two poles crisscross across the top of the tent. Get this all put together quickly. And then, so one of the cons that I have with this particular tent, it has these sleeves, and they can be kind of a pain to get the poles through, but we just feed those through, and then begin feeding. And there is a little gap here, so you have to come across, feed that through the other side of the sleeve. And this is where you start running the headache of things bunching up, but it's not the end of the world. It just takes a little bit of time. Like I said, not the end of the world. Just can be a little time consuming. And then all we do is take the end, put it in the little grommet here on the one side. Now the poles are made out of fiberglass, so nothing too, groundbreaking there. And these just clip together just like a lot of other basic tents do. So now I got both sets of poles in. I'm gonna come in here, push this through so I can get that into the little grommet. And you'll see as I plug each corner in, this tent will actually start to take shape. Come to the last side here. Now with all 4 points put in there, I got the basic structure. Now I'm just going to come through with my tent stakes. Now, how I typically like to stake these out is just go opposite corner, down super hard. Come out to my last corner here. Now I did just want to go through and show the top here. As you can see, you have some mesh venting there, and I'll show you how to attach the rain. So now I just come in with the rain fly, put that there, and there's actually these little nylon webbing tabs here on the sleeves where tent poles go, and you just hook them on. And now we got full coverage up above top of us, so water doesn't come through. We still get some ventilation there. These are connected, if I can talk. These are connected with like a shock cord, almost like a bungee cord as well. Got everything set up here. I can come through, open up the front. I can actually peel these back, and there is some tie-offs on the inside here. Let me actually grab the other one that's on the inside. There are a zip that goes down the middle as well as the bottom of this mesh. Let me roll this back out, and I'll roll these back together for simplicity's sake. So yeah, that's what I thought. Now with the little like webbing here, there are the little pieces of the tent that come off where you can tie them off. The downside is one's in between the rain fly and the other one's on the inside of the mesh or the inside of the tent. So you actually have to feed these through just little loops on the sides here. If I can do this. Jesus, just struggling today. And then now I don't knot these up, I just overhand them. And one of these are a little bit longer than the other, so that's typically the one that I feed through the little tab. Then I just come in, just like I was gonna start tying my shoes, and just tie those back. And now the whole front is open. Now, as we roll onto the inside here, I do believe they call this a 3-person tent. Really basic, nice and spacious. So for me, by myself, I have tons of room in here. There is a little pocket here where you can store, miscellaneous gear, but it's just real basic, nothing too complicated. Just a real basic tent, nice and cheap. So if you're just getting into camping or just want something that's easy to set up, this is a pretty decent option. Me crawling in here, just to give you perspective on how big this is. I can lay down with my sleeping pad, you know, feet to the door, head to the back, or I could sleep diagonal in here. Just a matter on what I want to do. So I mean, there's tons of room in here. I could be like some and say, welcome to Comrade's Corner. So overall, I do really like this tent. It's something nice, basic, nothing overcomplicated. I mean, this whole setup will take you maybe 10 minutes. This is a single wall tent. You know, you have the mesh door, but you don't have any kind of mesh out or inside. So you will get some condensation buildup in here. So that's just something to be aware of when you go with a single wall tent. That's just an inevitability. So just wrapping up on the Mil-Tec Igloo tent. For one person, it's going to be a palace. For me, I mean, that's tons of room in there. I could store my gear in there. I remember when I brought this to my basic class after the first day, when I got into my tent, I made my meal, and then I basically took everything out of my pack, repacked it, because I did have a sleeping bed or a wool blanket at the bottom, attached to the bottom of the pack I was using, and it was banging me in the back of the legs. And this tent gave me that room to be able to sort through that at night. Now, for the price point, $50 to $85, a ballpark that I've seen online, mainly on eBay. What you're getting is a really simple tent, nothing, you know, out of this world, but something nice, basic. If you're getting into camping, or you know someone that's getting into camping, you can get them this. Know that it's just a real simple tent, not going to give them a ton of headaches with setup. I mean, setup for me is 5-10 minutes at the very most. I do have this in the Flectarn camo. I don't see that one a whole lot anymore. I do see multi-cam and a couple other variants. Military First is one site. I have seen it on there before. I haven't checked recently, but I've heard good and bad things with that company. Some products are priced a little bit higher than other sites online. But I did find this on eBay, and if you just look up Mil-Tec Igloo Tent, it'll bring you to a couple of sites, a lot of European sites. So I'm not sure if this brand is more of a European brand. Definitely let me know in the comment section down below if you do. Also, let me know in the comment section down below what budget tents y'all like to use. As y'all know, we go through this every single time. I'm a gear junkie, so I'm always looking at new stuff to try out, so I can give you an honest opinion on that gear after I've been able to test it. So it just gives you another opinion when you're researching products to make sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck and not buying something that maybe someone was paid for to say good things. I'm never going to do that on my channel. Even if I'm an affiliate of a particular company, I'm not going to give you a raving review and say it's the best thing in the world. I'm going to give you my honest opinion every single time. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. That gets more traction for the channel, helps get more eyes on what we're doing here, helps bring those people into our community so we can learn together and grow together. As always, this has been Paul with Adaptable Survival. Adapt your mind, your body, and your gear.